As I sit here on Martin Luther King Day, I recall the 1960s. I was a young boy, 6, 7, 8 years old. In the 1960s, racism was accepted. I didn't know any different. This is what I knew from the time I was born. And I'd be out playing with friends. I'd run into white adults, and I would hear things. Martin Luther King was big in the news, and this was a threat to a lot of these older white parents. I heard people tell me that Martin Luther King was a criminal because he'd been in jail. I'm 7. What the fuck do I know? If he's in jail, he must be a criminal. Knew nothing about civil disobedience, knew nothing about fighting the good fight. I even had somebody tell me that in the Bible it said that black people are supposed to be subservient to white people. I hadn't read the Bible. What the fuck do I know? So I took this information home, sat down with my mom, and told her what they told me. My mom was a very sweet, calm woman, but I had never seen her more mad in my life. She sat me down and straightened my shit out. She was very upset. She even went back to some of these parents and straightened their shit out too. But I learned a lot from my mom, and I trusted my mom because my mom never failed me. And since that time, I had a different perspective on people like Martin Luther King, racism, and the fight that people of color deal with every day. But as I look back on that, I'm now seeing the irony of it all. These white people back in the 60s that tried to tell us that people of color were bad, that Martin Luther King was a criminal, turns out they're the bad people. They're the criminals. They're the folks that are trying to overthrow this country. You see, even back in the 60s, they were trying to gaslight us. They were trying to project what they're doing on somebody else. And it's taken all this time for people to realize it. We've been put through this for years and years. Racists have survived all these years in spite of the fight. They slid under the rocks. They hid for a while, and now they're back out there. This is the time we've got to take this by the reins and put them down for good once and for all. There is no room for racism. Now, people say, what do you care about racism? You're not black. I'm not black. I can't understand the plight of people of color. But I can tell you this, I do not tolerate ignorance. And this is absolute ignorance. If you're a racist, you're fucking stupid in my book. There is no explanation for it. You're a special kind of stupid. We all need to keep fighting the good fight because it's not about black, white, whatever. It's about people. It's us. And if we aren't fighting for us, we're fighting for fucking nothing.